Welcome to AM Best Audio.
Environmental insurance is becoming a basic coverage requirement for many business owners, particularly developers and contractors. In recent years, it's become imperative for companies to identify and manage environmental risk. I'm John Weber for AM Best TV, and I'm speaking today to Mike Padula, Head of Environmental US for Aspen Insurance. Mike, so glad you could join us today.
Thanks, John. Really a pleasure to be here and join you today.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about how environmental liability is evolving, particularly around climate risk and other factors as well.
Yeah, the segment has really evolved over the years and has adapted to changing regulatory landscape, pressures from societal pressures for environmental change, even ESG, internal ESG requirements. But climate change is on the forefront of any environmental manager, any casualty manager these days. We're seeing increased tropical storms, increased tornadic activity across the Midwest. We're seeing droughts, wildfires. Not only do these have, immediate impact on society from the losses that an individual may suffer, but from an environmental perspective, we take a hard look at these natural disasters when we evaluate any type of coverage. For instance, we insure a lot of risks that the risk managers thought, I don't have any environmental risk. I manufacture X component. I really don't use any pollutants. But what we found specifically during Hurricane Harvey down in Houston, when there was significant flooding, was you don't necessarily have to worry about your own property. You got to really worry about your neighbor's property as well. And what we saw is extreme flooding, carrying pollutants from other third parties, landing on our own insured's property where we needed to respond. That insurance policy allows a operator, an owner of a property, to respond to an environmental incident without necessarily having to go after the originating party and let the insurance company handle that. So, I think more insureds, more risk managers are paying attention not only to their own risks, but also third-party risks that may cause pollution incidents during some of these natural disasters as a result of, climate change.
Mike, we talk so much about artificial intelligence these days, a lot. Yeah. Is that changing how environmental is being underwritten? And is it also changing the view of environmental risk?
Yeah, I think we would be foolish not to think that AI is going to be a part of our future as we move forward. The level and depth of AI is still yet to be determined. I always, being an underwriter at heart, I always like to think that my job is irreplaceable by a computer. I think that will hold true for environmental. The risk is so unique and so different. You could have two businesses doing the same exact thing. However, the risk profile is completely different based on geographic location, regulatory climate, a whole myriad of items. I think AI, though, will become part of the solution as we evaluate these risks. And, we're already starting to gather our own data, use third-party data to help us analyze risk. And I think it will, I'm excited about it, first of all, because I think it will make our job a lot more interesting. And not only as an insurance company, are we collecting data? Our trading partners, our brokers are collecting data. And we're trying to explore ways that we can work with our trading partners to make the transaction a lot more efficient, where we can share a lot more information and produce a product that gives the ultimate insured better coverage and better solutions.
You mentioned the regulatory climate. Is the current regulatory environment making it a challenge to write the risk?
Look, the regulatory climate has basically driven the environmental insurance sector, right? Back in the late 70s with the formation of the US EPA and some of the restrictions to the GL policy with either an absolute or total pollution exclusions gave birth to really the environmental insurance policy, all driven by regulatory change and the creation of CERCLA by EPA. So that has always kind of guided the direction of the marketplace to a certain extent. And, one of the things on the forefront of any casualty manager's, plate is PFAS, right? And there's a lot of regulation being proposed, a lot of changes, cleanup criteria or drinking water standards being established that is really creating new ways that the environmental sector is looking at the risk and trying to provide solutions to it. So the regulatory climate is a part of it. We embrace that. We feel that as the experts in environmental, we should be not running from that and not viewing it as a challenge, but looking at it as an opportunity to create more product for our insureds and create risk transfer solutions that provide them the opportunity to protect their balance sheets.
Customize your data experience. BestLink now offers an interactive company dashboard that provides company-level intelligence in a fast, user-friendly interface featuring interactive tables, charts, and Sparkline performance histories. Customize the dashboard tiles to prioritize the insurer ratings, data, and analytics that best support your workflow. AM Best. Our insight, your advantage.
Now, I don't need to tell you there's a certain complexity when it comes to environmental liability, right? So given the complex nature of the risk, how is Aspen helping clients manage and understand the risk?
Yeah, look, any time that we can get out in front of a client with our trading partners to talk about the benefits of an environmental risk, and the benefits of an environmental insurance policy, we do. At Aspen, I think we have some of the deepest technical bench in the marketplace. We have folks with up to 40, 50 years of experience in the space, right? Whether it be directly in insurance, from brokerage, from industry itself, from law backgrounds, from regulatory sectors. So I think Aspen has the technical expertise across the board in various sectors too, whether it be mining, energy, commercial real estate. We bring the right experts to the table to solve problems. And so, Aspen's been in the environmental insurance industry for over 15 years now. So we have a lot of data, a lot of expertise to pull from, a lot of examples that we can share with our insureds or prospective insureds to help them make decisions about real products that help them protect their business and be good stewards of the environment.
How would you assess the environmental market these days?
Yeah, it's. I think you started off the session by stating that it's becoming more of a standard insurance product. It is, all right. I think more people are becoming aware of environmental risk and the benefits of the environmental insurance policy. The market has evolved over the years. I mean, when the market was first created, it was really a one or two products for very specific types of risks. Now, we advanced 20, 25 years. There's dozens of products tailored for environmental coverage that are used for unique exposures. And we continue to evolve. But not only have we evolved, our trading partners have evolved. Back when environmental insurance first started, there was very few experts on the brokerage side. These days, almost every major retailer has either an environmental expert or a full-blown environmental department. The general wholesalers all have environmental departments with, great expertise. And then there's also a third segment where we have specialty environmental wholesalers that bring very unique perspective to the business. And so not only has the insurance carrier side evolved, but the brokerage side has evolved. And I think all of that is great. And a lot more competition these days. I think I lost count, but I think there's upwards of 70 markets in the U.S. providing some form of environmental insurance. Back when I started, there was 5 or 6. So a lot more opportunity to provide solutions for risks out there.
And when was that you started and there were 5 or 6?
Geez, I'm starting to date myself. I mean, there's people in the industry that have been doing it a lot longer than me, but I started my insurance career as a claims guy back in the late 90s. So.
Now, you mentioned PFAS earlier. I guess that's not really an emerging risk at this point, but what are emerging risks that you might be keeping an eye on?
I think PFAS is obviously at the forefront, but there's some risks out there specifically being addressed on the West Coast where there's chemicals that were components of rubber products that they're finding in different types of water bodies and accumulating in aquatic life. Microplastics, I think, are something that we're starting to pay a lot of attention to. It's an exciting area, right? And there's a lot of things that you need to be paying attention to, but that's what we're paid to do, and that's why we're the experts in the field.
I want to shift gears here and ask you about environmental impairment liability. Do you think that's something that can be used to help drive the green energy market?
Yeah, I mean, that's really the next wave for us. There's so many different aspects of the green energy, renewable energy push. And I know Aspen, and I know a lot of our competitors are spending a lot of time, kind of gearing up and trying to find solutions for it. Whether it's, the mining of materials to make lithium-ion batteries, the manufacturing of those batteries, the manufacturing of solar panels, to the installation of wind farms and solar fields, and all the infrastructure that's needed to support the EV market, and then the actual use of that product, but really then really addressing the end of life for some of these things. We're starting to see all these EV cars out there. Those batteries don't have an indefinite lifespan, right? And they need to be dealt with in a environmentally sensitive way. So we're seeing risks for new facilities being born to address recycling of lithium-ion batteries. So I think that's really the next wave. There's estimates out there that in the next couple of years, it's going to be several $1 trillion industry for the green energy space or renewable energy. We want to be part of that and be able to provide solutions to make sure that is part of the transition to a more sustainable planet.
So, Mike, where do you see the environmental market headed, and what will Aspen's role be in all that?
Yeah, look, I think we've positioned ourselves over the years to be, a major part of the industry. I think more and more risk managers will be looking at the environmental insurance as a necessary part of the risk transfer portfolio. I think we have a ways to go. And I think that requires more education on the benefits of an environmental insurance policy, where it fills the gaps in other policies like a GL policy or a property policy. And I think, the industry, like I said before, so many more experts in it today than it has ever had before to help drive the interest in an environmental policy. And I think just as good stewards of the planet, right, whether it be, prospective insureds or owners of business, brokers, we all have a duty to kind of protect this place. And I think environmental insurance is a part of that. And I think there's a bright future for it. I think there's a need for it. And I'm really happy that I'm part of that process and a little part of the solution, hopefully.
Mike, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate it.
That was Mike Padula, Head of Environmental U.S. for Aspen Insurance. And I'm John Weber for AM Best TV.
Looking to get the attention of the insurance industry? We have the platforms to do just that. Whether it be AM Best TV, AM Best Audio, Best Review Magazine, or Best Day, Find out more by contacting our Advertising Services Business Development Team at 908-882-1706.